Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Foundry. It's episode 7. I, for a hot minute, thought that I was done with this series, but I certainly wasn't done playing the game, so I kept right on playing the game. But I came to the realization of how I can still bring some content to what is a small audience for this series, and that is a summary video. A brief check-in from time to time of the progress that I have been making in the game, so that if you are playing, you've at least got something to follow along with and see what you're doing and maybe get an idea or two from. So going back in order of the things that I've done since. So for my first check-in, we found some ignium ore not too deep underground here across the river. We are in that eastern river away. When we first made our first run around, we went over that hilltop through the forest, and then we jumped across the narrow part of the sea here, and then found that mountain and followed that river. So we got some ignium ore out there, and then also some xenoferrite, and you'll see what I've brought them together to do here in a moment. I'd like to show you the first new mining method that I came up with here as we run back towards the source on this one. What I ended up doing was I used my scanner to find the exact location here of the supposed mine. And to do that, right, with the scanner, you'd locate the coordinates. So 490 and minus 430. The 122 is the height. Right now we're at 135, but we're at the 490 and we're one off. You get right to the center, and if I can, I ended up just digging straight down. Just look down and straight down until we reach the mine. Then I dug out around the top of it a little bit, enough to get some space, and then dropped in the necessary mining resources. And then we've got that coming out of here. So it looks like 2 mining drones might not quite be enough on this one, but that's okay, we're keeping up with it. And we directly linked it up with this line. You can also see how we have framework underneath it that is connected back to the main base. So we do have power that is run all the way out here. And then the purpose of bringing these 2 resources together, and why I picked those 2 resources where they were located being next to each other, is combined in a crusher, as I just step over the top, and combined in with a crusher makes a compound that's then used to make steel. So that compound is our now steel production. So you can see how we have steel production coming out of here, and this is nowhere near a full line. That is not making me happy. I was hoping to have a full line out of this, but we very much do not have that. How far? Yeah, it's nowhere near filling things up. Barely making it past the first couple. Okay, well, that is noteworthy and something I might need to address at some stage. So bringing the steel back into the base, I made a huge expansion behind the base, big platform area, beyond where I had our blue and green, red and blue science, that is. And we brought it into the back end of this, where we then go through the production cycle to get the advanced machinery parts, to get pipes, and to get concrete. Now, concrete was another whole process. We'll look at that one. Concrete now gets into these huge manufacturing towers. Let's see, what are they called? They are casting machines. So we came up with a number of casting machines, and the casting machines require a new resource that we did not have previously, and that is water. So, nearby to our home base, we have this water source, and we have a number of pumps bringing water up, and then pumps again to push it along the way and into. Now there's probably a process where I could use splitters to make this work, but I wanted to make sure that I had sufficient, so I just did a separate line for each of them. And with these, we have our more ignium ore, right? No, this is the compound that you used for steel, combined with mineral rocks. Salt? Limestone? I don't know what it's supposed to resemble, but for that one, going back over here for a moment, there's our line for that. Turns out that this was actually really close to the base. It was one of those unknowns that was out there, and eventually through tech got identified, and you'll see here how I used the same technique. We went directly over the top of it, and then we dropped on down. You can see we've only really just started to break into what's here, but we do the exact same thing. Can I get out of here now? Yes, I can. Okay, and that's going to provide us with the mineral rock, and then we just dug out from there. So I dropped myself into the hole, making sure that I have enough resources ahead of time. Otherwise, there's the real danger of running out while you're down there and unable to get yourself out of the situation. So the primary thing that I needed to have while I'm down there, as you're building just a ramp straight up out of the ground, that the short list is obviously the mining drill, and had to have the ore scanner to find the spot in the first place to get down there and dig it out and everything and whatnot. But I needed to have the building blocks. I needed to have some drone miners. I needed to have a bunch of conveyors. And that's the key components, right? As long as you can dig your tunnel out and build it as you go, it's a lot easier to do it going up than it is going down. I've found that whole down thing made it real easy to like stop and count. Makes sense. Up was really easy to just count the number of tiles you needed to dig through, place blocks, throw down a ramp, move up to the next spot. Dig, 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 place, 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 and on you go. Easy method, worked pretty well. Still time consuming, but way easier than trying to go down, and especially when you're guessing on what you need to go down to get to the location. Starting straight from the location and coming out, and then connecting it after you're out and to the surface was way easier, other than trying to snake around. But with those mineral rocks and the concrete as the additional piece, 3 components combined together to make green science. With that green science, I was then able, and you can see how it's definitely the element that holds things up. The green science. Do some research here in a second. You can see there's our red and blue, so I brought it straight in to connect up with those. And that was where I based my start location off on the building. You can see there's that green. And just like the others, we're bringing that green in. Look, it's covered now. That wasn't covered before. There we go. So the green science comes in up here, distributes, and keeps us going. I've done a lot of research since getting that green up. It is not the same production level as what we have with the red and the blue. And it does not produce at the same rate either. I did a set of 4. That's half the production rate of the red and blue. You need 8 to match. I don't have the means, I don't have the capacity to match that. Also, I'd gotten so far ahead on research anyway that I was nowhere near matching the research. I had pushed so far ahead on research that there was so many undone things that were going to take a lot of time. So unlocking the green, I kind of went, I'm okay with it researching a little bit slower. So I went with the 4. The concrete is the one holding it up. I expanded. I initially went with 3. I expanded that to 4 to speed it up a little bit further, and it certainly made a difference on the production rate, but it is definitely the green slowing the process by more than just half, because the concrete limits the pace on the green science production a little. It's almost enough for 4. Almost. Not quite. I would need a little bit more to get there. If I added another 50% to, like, say 6, then I would go to maximum production for the green, which would mean we'd be at 50% pace from where we were previously with the red and blue science. So the red and blue sits kind of backed up and idle a little bit, but that's okay, because you'll quickly see that for available research, anything involving that green, we have an elevator left, but all of this is locked behind the next science. So all of this is locked. We have the Olamite. We'll get to that one soon. And then my last set, my last 3 items, which I'll start one here before we are done. Before we're done. So we have 2 windows, and I'm guessing that I will be able to go to the freight elevator. That's the one I want. Elevators for me. Freight elevator is for goods. 320 items per minute. Yeah, I need that soon. You'll see why. You will see why I need that here fairly soon. That's going to be something I want to go for, but I do want to get these guys done. But we finished all the other ones. Now, once I started getting into the green science, I opened up a lot of stuff. For one thing, previously, we had unlocked the tier 2 for plates. Turns out that it added a process. That process being you mine. Let's see here. Drone miner. There we go. We mine the resource. But now we put it in a crusher. The crusher then makes it more fine. And that extra step then goes into the smelter. And that's where we get that extra 50% more output. So we have to go through a crusher. So I connected up every single situation where we had that and ran them through a crusher. So all of them have that crusher added in. So we have that 50% increase in output. But with all this new stuff unlocked and the research ongoing and making progress, I decided that, well, we've got a whole new realm of power that we had unlocked and gotten into. I have not done much with it at this point because our power consumption was nearing the capacity, but we massively increased that capacity with this. So we have another pump. So bringing water in to a boiler. This one does need power, and that's actually the project I'm working on right now. So I'm almost done with this one, and it looks like I'm already out. Am I already out? I am out. We are using the biomass for now to fuel this, which just does not go as far as one would hope that it would. Doesn't last that long. Anyway, so we have a boiler that goes into a turbine, a steam turbine engine. But this is now high voltage power instead of low voltage power. And so we have to convert it through a power pole into a transformer. And the transformer then feeds the low voltage network where you can actually draw the power off of it. So definitely a process. But what I am working on currently, as I just stated a moment ago, is a constant fuel source for our boiler. So it does not have to be fed manually, and I definitely don't want to use the biomass. It's not efficient as all. at all. So I've been running this line here. Can I squeeze my head under here? Probably not. Okay, I'm running that line along our old line here when we expanded a while back. That first expansion where we dug into the mountain that first time. That's last episode, right? It's been a while for me on that one. That was where we left off in the series. So, added this line. I did not have to add building blocks by running it next to it because power does not come from the conveyor belt. It comes from those building blocks. So power is still run underneath this line while this one's just running the line. Now it's still empty. You'll see why here in a moment. It's nighttime. There is that completed production out there where we're getting the plates coming in as we weren't filling the line and we were running through that not infinite, right, very finite resource that had a limited amount. It's more than half gone. Both of these initial two are more than half gone, and we're going to have to get some Technum or brought in at some point, and there's some here at the lake that we can use to replace that. That'll be a near future project for me. But other than our xenoferrite, there's more right here that was unreachable before. But there's that technology. As we make technology gains, we can now get further and further down. So ignium ore is going to be my next fuel source for this one. And this, besides our source here that's about half gone, this was the next closest. So I came out here and I started making my way down. And this time I brought the power off of that line and bringing the power down with it, so we will have a power source when we get down there. And I got to here, and then I had a new technology, and that is explosives. I'm not going to use it now, but you'll just throw her at the wall, and these are the explosive charges. Took me a minute to figure it out. You make explosives, and then you make the charges, but we're going to pick that up. We're not going to do anything with that one right now. And you throw them. You use a detonator. And with that detonator, they make a big boom. Clear a bunch of space. Much faster than the simple act of digging a hole. So the mining takes a long time. The explosives make the job much faster. So I dug down, and eventually I got myself the traditional where I had been before, where we are directly over top. But because of the tech, we're able to get resources that we couldn't get before that are much deeper. I'm right over the top of this guy, but it's down at height 40. I've already, at height 120, come down a fair bit from where I was, about 15 blocks down, but it's 80 blocks further down. 80 blocks. So I've been snaking my way around, going down, using the explosives to make a big hole in the ground, and then snaking this down so that we can bring the resources out. Those freight elevators are going to be a total game changer as I get into these deep mines, because this is ridiculous, this process. This has taken much longer than the previous ones. It's been more complicated. I've had my issues with it. The explosives will also explode the product that I have right here. You can see that I've gotten that far on this, but I continue to snake it down here. The platforms, the ramps still have ways to go. Now, you'll see here, it's nighttime. It's rather dark. But let me show you up here a little bit further back where I came from. There. That's stone. We are now getting into a much harder rock, and that was what we couldn't mine before. Our mining drill couldn't handle it. Through technology advances, through that research, I was now able to begin mining this, which is what's allowing us to get to these deeper ores. So dropping straight on down now, I am now at height 49. I need to get to height 40. So as I go to wrap up this little summary episode, and we get that fuel source, I will demonstrate the fun to be had here. Though in the dark, not as fun. But there is our big hole in the ground, and there she is. Okay, we have finally made it, and we've cleared the top away. We have it. Okay, there is ignium ore. All I need to do is get a wide enough space to get some mining drones down. I need to connect on up to there, link my conveyors up to where I left off at. I've already brought my power source on down with me. That last little bit was awkward just because I needed a way to get out last time, and again, the explosives will destroy these, so you can only get them so close. But anyway, that brings you up to date on what I'm working on. So this ignium ore will be used specifically to fuel our steam engines. And the steam engines, just that one, provided significantly more power. Can't show you the network from where I'm at the moment, but that one brings significantly more power than I had previously. All of it combined was nowhere near what that one steam turbine is able to produce in terms of power, which means we can power a whole lot more activity going forward, and adding one more will obviously double that, or near double, as we still have the other power being utilized for the time being, and I will until that one is done drawing power. I mean, there's no reason for me to take away what we have made on that. Its growth, its expansion. In terms of the research and kind of what's happening right now, the olamite processing is getting into essentially oil and gas. That is that department. That's that pathway. The yellow science is somewhere. I'm assuming it's got to be down this olamite. Yeah, it's way down here, science pack 4. So I actually do still have a lot remaining in the realm I'm at. So once I've kind of knocked out these 3 guys, and I'm wondering if the freight elevator without yellow, it is without yellow. It's freight elevator 2 where the yellow becomes necessary. So like I said, once I finish these 3, I'm going to get into those, because that freight elevator, like this snake process down here is driving me nuts. If I can just bang, 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 clear out a big hole, and then put a manned elevator and a freight elevator down there, right? As long as I can connect up power with that, that's going to make a massive, massive, massive difference, because that method of just dig straight down and then ramp out is fine when it's shallow. When it's deep like this, when you're going down, gosh, what is it? Almost 100 blocks? That's a process. That is a process you don't want to be messing around with for long. Now, if you have 30 explosives and just bang, 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 and knock out a hole quickly, and then have the resources to throw in some elevators and get out of it quickly, like the snake process is taking the majority of the time. So if we can just drop those in quickly, then deep mining does not become such an issue. This is my first foray into that deep mining, and I've not been a fan of it, but I am a fan of those elevators. So for a next episode, which I do not know when it will come at random, might be a week from now. I play the game in my free time, which is very limited. Track season, I'm the head coach for track. I've got a couple days left. Our district meet is tomorrow, and we don't do state for our level, so the district meet is it. Win that or be done. Be done or be done, period. Regardless of outcome, we are done tomorrow. So and we're heading into summer, so I actually get a little break because I coach 4 sports, so I won't have to be back till the fall. I'll have a little bit of time off. I'll have more time to work for a few months, more time to get other projects done as well. I'm always busy. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm Decathlon Gamer. That is going to do it for this catch-up episode of Foundry. Let me know in the comments below if you're okay and happy with this method and you'd like me to continue on, because it is time consuming to even do this. It's far easier production wise to be able to just play the game and come back every once in a while and provide a summary. So for me, it works, and hopefully it works for you as well. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there.